Let's begin with how U.S. stocks reacted to the news. We're going to Deborah Kostroun at the New York Stock Exchange. Deborah.
Thanks a lot, Pimm. You know, we started out the day lower, but once we got that news, as of course Margaret Brennan was live on our air, that Egypt's President Mubarak resigning, stocks shooting up and never looking back today. We closed out the session near the highest level. And one of the things that we should note, the volume actually light once again today. And of course, a little bit typical for a Friday, but especially given all of the news flow, we would have expected maybe a little bit more of a bump up in volume. Now, traders telling me that the problems in Egypt kind of diffusing here a little bit. And as that country moves to maybe a little bit more of a democratic society, that certainly is good news for the global economy and for the markets. And maybe once again, we can shift our focus back to the economy here, because slowly but surely traders are telling me that the economy getting better. And certainly today's consumer confidence number evidence that the economy finding its way. Now, here's the reaction that we did see. This Egypt ETF was up the most in 2 weeks, almost 5% in today's session, Pimm.
Now, Deborah, everyone closely monitoring what's happening in the world of energy, specifically crude oil. And as we also expected, crude oil prices falling today on the news of the resignation of Hosni Mubarak.
Right. And, you know, the reason that we care so much about crude oil is because the Middle East holds 50% of the world's oil reserves. And that has always been a big concern over the past 18 days, if that situation, as it had been escalating. Now, crude oil today falling to a 10-week low on ideas that the flow of crude oil will not be disrupted now that Mubarak has resigned. And also remember, the one thing about oil stockpiles, they have been rising for the past 4 weeks. And also gasoline stockpiles are at an 18-year high. Taking a look at one stock in particular, we were tracking today, Apache. They get 24% of their revenue from Egypt, so certainly a stock we are watching today. That stock was higher. And also wheat. Remember that Egypt is the world's biggest wheat importer, and we did see wheat going up today on increased Egyptian demand, because maybe now that the situation calmer a little bit, that they will begin to buy wheat. Remember, wheat this past week was at the highest since July of 2008, and now as we closed out Friday's session, corn also closing at its highest since July of 2008 as well. Back to you in the studio, Pimm.
Thank you very much. Deborah Kostroun reporting from the New York Stock Exchange.